Want to be a topper in MBA entrance exams? Join BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and watch serial 99 percentilers teaching you the tips and tricks.
Hello, good noon. Good noon, all of you. Hi, sweetie. Hello, roosters. Anuja, Harry. Hello, Sanil. Hi, Kashish. Good noon, all of you. Okay, so I hope I haven't missed out anyone. Hi, Abhilasha, Priya. Good noon. Okay, so as part of the second session of our crash course, right? So I hope you attended the other sessions also yesterday and you got to know that the MAH CET crash course is for all your sections, not just for verbal ability and reading comprehension. Now, yesterday in the VRC, we talked about sentence improvement. So I hope that helped you because sentence improvement, sometimes you can get as many as 5 questions exclusively on sentence improvement, right? Today I'll show you some different question types, some question types that you may not have seen in other exams that are asked in MAH CET grammar. Plus, of course, we'll see some usual questions also. So it's a mix of questions today, okay? And we'll look at some new question types and hone some old question types. Okay. Hi Tanvi, hello Priya, hi Bhushan, Travesty, okay, hi Travesty, Shubham, Varda, hello Megha. Right. So let's begin. And here is the first question type. Okay, before I have the first question type, I'm always in a hurry to start with the questions because that's what, makes me feel very active doing the questions. Right. But it's important to introduce you to the structure also. So VARC, when I talk about grammar, say out of your 50 questions, up to 1/3 of your VARC section can be grammar, right? So ideally speaking, it should not be more than 1/3, right? Because you have RC passages also, you have verbal logic also, your vocabulary also, right? So it should not be more than 1/3 of your VRC section, more than 1/3 of the 50 questions that you have. So that makes it what, around 16 to 17 questions. On an average, you could say that you can expect 12 to 13 questions from the grammar portion, right? The questions have not been constant over the year, so I can't say that, okay, this year these many questions are going to appear. I can't predict that. Okay, good afternoon. The most important topic, Bhushan. So if I talk in terms of knowledge, so it depends on what basis you are asking. See, RC passages, of course, you know that you do get a significant chunk of questions from there, right? Now, the number of RC passages may vary every year, and the number of questions has also not been constant. But again, you can say that, okay, up to 1/3 of your VRC section can be, let's say, or 15 questions can be from RC passages, right? Then, if I talk about grammar, same story. So, the story remains the same for various areas in the VRC section. So, it depends on what you are good at. If you feel that, okay, by building knowledge currently, by practicing questions currently, I can actually become a pro at grammar, then by all means you should do that. Okay, if let's say this is not working for you, okay, or you feel that RCs and vocabulary, those areas of mine are much much stronger, so then let's say you could pay more attention to those. But in my opinion, see, RC passages do not require any prior knowledge, so you don't need to work as hard for them as, let's say, grammar when it comes to MHCT. In CAT the story is different altogether. I'm talking about MHCT. So RC passages, then parajumbles, those you can tackle in the exam as well. Right now, why don't we focus on grammar and we focus on learning new words, learning more vocabulary words every day. So I think that approach should work. Okay. Now, the timings for VRC, it is 12 to 1 p.m. Okay. These are the timings for VARC, right? For your other sections, I think one session happens at 1 o'clock. One session also happens at 3 o'clock, right? So just coordinate with your peers. Yes, they'll be able to tell you. And when you subscribe to the channel, in fact, for all the upcoming sessions, there is an option called Notify Me. So you can click on that, and whenever that session happens, you will be notified. Okay. All right. All right. So I hope I've addressed this. Now, coming to important concepts which can be applied throughout the section. the areas in the section vary, so you can't apply RC concepts to grammar. That can't happen. Okay, so reading is something that will help you in a general sense. Okay, solving is something which at this stage will help you the most, Bhushan. Okay, so previous year papers, solve them. All right. It started yesterday. Aditya. We had our first session called sentence improvement, followed by some other sessions. Okay. Good noon, Sonali. Okay. I hope I have clarified your queries. No, Aishwarya, it does not work like this. It does not work like this, that there will be 3 sessions every day. The number of sessions may vary, okay? VRC is 12 to 1. For the other sessions, you have to check. Okay, you have to check, right? And VRC will happen from Tuesday to Saturday, 12 to 1 p.m. Okay. All right. Now, here is your first set of questions. So these are the directions given to you. Now, match the following did not come last year as such, okay? But last to last year, there were quite a few questions from match the following, okay? So let's see what we have to do here. Relatively nuanced, relatively, I don't want to use the word complicated, but yes, that's the case. In this question, 3 columns, 1, 2, and 3, and 3 sentences are given, which are divided into 3 parts. All right. So column 1 has A, B, and C. Consists of first half of each sentence. It consists of first half of each sentence, and it is fixed. This column is fixed. Column 2, which has D, E, and F fragments, and column 3, which has G, H, and I fragments, consist of the remaining half of each sentence. Now match column 1 with column 2 and 3. So remember, 2 and 3 are not fixed. 2 and 3 are not fixed. So 1 gives the starting of the sentence, but after this, after A, I can also fit with A. So match column 1 with column 2 and 3 so that the sentences formed are both meaningful and grammatically correct. Choose the correct option as your answer. Right. So we saw quite a few questions of this type, particularly in MAH CET 2020, right? That's why I thought I should do these questions with you. So column 1, 2, and 3, these are the beginnings of various sentences. Now you have to see here are your options. I didn't have a lot of space, so I put them on the left. So you have to tell me whether ADI makes a complete sentence. If it does, then yes, probably A is the answer or D is the answer. Then you have to check for CEG. So you now get how you have to attempt this question, right? So accordingly, make use of options, see what makes sense, and tell me what the answer should be. Okay? All right. Thank you, Prasanna. That's amazing to know. So see, all of you can also do that, but you have to practice from your end. Okay, Prasanna, practice from your end as well, right? Okay, great, Varda, great. So Bhushan, usually whenever we have these MAH CET sessions, I give you tips to improve your grammar, okay, to improve your vocabulary. We've had, I think, 3 vocabulary sessions already, okay, wherein we discussed about in fact, more than 50 words in each session. So every single day we are also trying to work on this. So I think attending these sessions will help you. And when you attend them on a regular basis, I keep giving these tips and tricks to improve both these areas. Right? A is the answer. That's what you say. Okay. All right. D. A again. Okay. So let's see whether it's A or D. Now, here, let's read ADI in that order. Now, of course, ADI has to be a part of the answer even if it's A or D. On 19th October 2017, the astronomer Robert Varick spotted an extraordinary splinter of rock just a few hundred meters across, held tumbling through our inner solar system. Yes, absolutely. This makes sense in this order: A, D, and I. Right? So, eliminated. Okay. And let's check CEG now. Mr. Zuckerman's extreme environmentalist anti-immigration sentiments is motivated. Is. So sentiments is plural, isn't it? So it has to be are motivated. Are motivated. Right? So no, D Delhi is the answer here, not A. Okay. So Mr. Zuckerman's extreme environmentalist anti-immigration sentiments are motivated by the presumption that the place we live in is special. Okay, and now see, G does not make sense at all with C and D. Actually, the sentence gets completed with right here. Okay, right here. So CE could have been a pair, but no such option is given to us. Also, even then, this should be R and this should be in. Then yes, CE is a complete sentence. Okay, so D Delhi. Hope this is clear to everybody. All right. Now, coming to the next question. Yes, tell me, what should be the answer here? So, what I did was that, again, some of you insisted that you wanted to attempt some questions from previous year papers. So, these questions, the question that I gave you earlier, plus this question, they are from MAH CET 2020 paper itself, right? Because we saw these question types there. So, I thought to bring them from there itself. Okay. So, let's see. Column 1. In case you want to practice the entire paper, it is available on our website, okay? BYJU'S Exam Prep, MAH CET 2020. If you Google, you will get it. Okay, let's look at these three. These three columns. I hope my hand is not hiding questions for you. Okay. D, all right. Okay. Let's see what the others say. I've got 8, 9 responses. Others. Okay. I've got one C also. All right. On the app, Ishwarya, check once. Just check once. Or wait, I'll check it and let you know. Okay. So, D, Delhi is the answer. That's what you say. Excuse me. Let's see. Nihilism over the course of time has been given many meanings and has been interpreted in many different ways by philosophers throughout history. Absolutely correct. A, D and G, they make a coherent, grammatically correct sentence. Very important for the sentence to be grammatically correct also. Okay. Now the moment I see that the answer is ADG, I know none of the other options is going to work, right? So yes, absolutely correct. D, Delhi is the answer. Okay. All right. So good. Most of you said, in fact, almost all of you said D. All right. Now we come to a new question type again. Okay, this is called probable starters. This is again a question from your previous year memory based papers. Now this is what I want to show to you. Your memory based papers are they're not indicators of what exactly came in the exam. Okay, so for instance, this question that is present in your memory based paper, this is actually an SBI PO question. Okay, it came in 2002 in SBI PO. So from there, let's say whoever was creating that memory based paper, they must have had an idea of the question type. So they picked up a question from another paper which matched that question type that was asked in MAHCET and put it there. Right. So you need to be aware of this fact when you attempt your memory based papers. All right. So let's look at this. I'm sure you will get this right. And one of you asked me to discuss this. I think Vicky asked me to discuss probable starter questions. So here they are. Read the instructions, attempt it, and then I'll tell you the principle that these questions work on. Okay. Let's see. Fastest fingers first. Okay, I've got some answers. All right. Okay, 6, 7 answers I've got. Others. So Rishikesh, I think, has answered the fastest. Why not D? No, sorry, wait. E. Why not E? That's my question. Why not E? There's a must in the first sentence after all. So why doesn't option E, which includes B also, work? Okay, Oneiromancy says A, only A. Am I audible to everyone? Yes, am I audible to everyone? Okay, perfect. You cannot is mentioned. Okay. Okay, okay, good, Aditya, good. Yes, I am just explaining this to you. Now, in these questions, what is done is two separate sentences are given to you. Two separate sentences are given to you. Now, they say that these can be combined into a single sentence without changing their meaning. This part is very important. You have to join them, but without changing their meaning. Right? Now, three probable starters, the way we can begin the sentences of the so combined sentence. So once I combine these two sentences, now this is actually just another conjunction question. Okay, these are nothing but in a way conjunction questions. Of course, sometimes the joining can happen through other parts of speech also, but more often than not, the joining will happen through conjunctions, right? So now three probable starters of the so combined sentence are given, which are denoted by A, B, and C. Any one or more or none of them may be correct. Now, that's also possible, but here one or more of them is correct. We know that, right? Find out the correct starter, if any, and accordingly select your answer from among the given 5 answer choices. Okay, now let's read the two. We need to understand the meaning very clearly. You must sign your railway ticket. So you must sign it. You must sign it. Now, A becomes wrong at this instance only. The railway authority shouldn't sign it. You must sign it. So, all the options that have A eliminated. You must sign your railway ticket, write your name and age on it. It becomes valid only after that. So, only after you sign your railway ticket does it become valid. Right? That's what I want to say. Now, C says to validate your railway ticket, you must sign it. Yes, now this makes sense. To validate your railway ticket, you must sign it. So C is definitely a part of the answer. Now, why not B and C? It says without validating your railway ticket. Shouldn't it be without signing your railway ticket? You cannot validate it. Right? I should say without signing your railway ticket, you cannot validate it. Rather, it says without validating your railway ticket, you cannot sign it. It inverts that relationship. Okay? So that is why B is incorrect. Right? It changes the meaning altogether, and that's why C is our answer. So there's nothing new in these questions. You just have to join these two sentences. For that, multiple ways will be given to you. A lot of times these will be conjunctions, right? So we did one question where they were being joined through the use of though. Okay. So though is a conjunction. Right. Here, on the other hand, we have to validate your railway ticket. So here we don't have a conjunction as such. Now, let's have a look at this question, right? This is from a memory based paper. Okay, so this actually came in the, this question type actually came in the exam. We can be sure of that at least. So there are two sentences here. Now tell me which one, how can I combine it into one sentence? Yes. Good noon, Vicky. We're doing this question type for you. You asked me to pick up some questions of probable starters. All right. Okay, C. All right. I've also got one D. Okay. So two Ds. Okay. Three. All right. Four Ds. One B. Okay. Okay. So now I'm getting more Ds. Okay. That means we are confused between C and D. Right. Safe to conclude that. So, is A correct? We have to find the correct starters. Optimism will wait for facts is established. This is grammatically incorrect. Even just this part is grammatically incorrect. Even if I want to make this statement that optimism will wait for facts, it should be to be established. Optimism will wait for facts to be established. So anyway, moreover, we need to understand that okay, last year we were expecting that there'll be faster economic growth and a good monsoon that would end the miseries of two back-to-back years of drought. That complacency gave way to the sober realization that optimism does not wait for facts. Okay, so that means we were being optimistic without really having a knowledge of the facts. So that means that probably last year was not a year of fast economic growth or a good monsoon. Yes. So I can't say despite last year being successful either. Despite last year being successful either, I can't say that because probably the last year was not successful. Right? We were just being complacent in thinking this. Self-satisfied. So it was believed, it was expected, it was believed that last year would be a year of faster economic growth and good monsoon, right? And a good monsoon. Okay, so it was believed last year can actually begin that combined sentence. Okay, but these two can definitely not. Okay, so only C is the answer. Okay, so I picked up some of those questions that remember last time I told you that some of the probable starters questions in the memory based papers did not make much sense. Okay, probably because they are memory based, probably because they were reproduced later. So I picked up those two that made sense to me. Okay, that I felt could be combined and these could be the starters. Those are the ones that I picked up for you. Okay, all right. So our answer is D, Delhi. Very good. Acha, those who said C, probably you said only C. Okay. Probably those who said C meant only C. I've got you now. Okay. So these were two new question types. Match the following probable starters. I hope you've been enjoying the session. If yes, then please, why don't you like the session? I've been observing this that so many of you attend the sessions, but the number of likes somehow are pretty low. Okay, we don't ask anything of you. All right. Otherwise, I'll also do this that I won't start the session till I have a certain number of likes. Okay. So this is the only thing that we're asking of you. These sessions are absolutely free of charge for everyone, right? Please go and press the like button and do share it with your friends in case you feel it will be useful for them. Okay, then only share it with them. All right. Coming to complacency means self-satisfaction when you're pretty satisfied with yourself. Okay, and it's a negative word. It has a negative connotation. That means whenever a person is complacent, no, whenever this person has complacency, that means this person doesn't really want to progress a lot. So complacency is often seen as something that brings in stagnation in your life. Okay, because you're so satisfied with how things are, you don't want to progress, right? Okay, so now your usual error spotting questions is that in MAHCET in some years you've been asked to identify two errors, or let's say no error in case there isn't any. So let's see what you say. All right. Sanil has already answered. Good, Sanil. Okay. Then you just want to be in your comfort zone, correct, on iromancy. I hope everybody remembers the meaning of an iromancy. The art of the practice of predicting the future by interpreting dreams, an iromancy. Okay. A, C, all right. B. Okay, so option B is A and C. All right. Okay. Others? So you're attempting the questions pretty fast today. That's a good development. As doctors understand variety diseases, oh my god, multiple errors. A variety of diseases. As doctors understand a variety of diseases but cannot predict when you will fall ill. Economists' fundamental mission. We do need an apostrophe here because I want to say economists' ka fundamental mission. The fundamental mission of economists is to forecast recessions. Okay, but that contradicts with this. I am saying they cannot predict when you will fall ill. Similarly, economists also cannot actually forecast. So, economists' fundamental mission is not to forecast recessions, but to explain how the economy works. Right? So, absolutely correct. You have correctly identified this. B, Bangalore is the answer here. Okay? A and C are erroneous. Good. Perfect. I hope you identified all these errors. Of, and, not. They were missing. Okay. For this one again, give me the answer as well as the correction. Give me the answer as well as the, you don't just have to spot the errors, you have to give me the corrections also. Yeah, that's what I mean. Usual error spotting question, but with 2 errors. That's the only difference. Okay, A, B, C, all right. What else? B should be corrected, okay. How? What is the correction? Give me the correction. Actually, you're asking me. I'll tell you when I tell the answer. Those who figured it out, tell me the corrections. Okay. I says D. D Delhi. Others? C. Okay. B. So I'm getting a variety of answers here. A. Okay. B should be corrected. Okay. I'll answer that. Let's just complete this round of answers. A, B, C, D. I've got everything. Okay. All right. So going back to the previous question for once. So Bhushan is asking if B should be corrected. As doctors understand a variety of diseases but cannot predict when you will fall ill. No, this is correct. No correction required in B. Right? So always in your error spotting questions, yesterday we were discussing it, read it in conjunction with what comes before, what comes after. So this is a part of this clause. As doctors understand a variety of diseases but cannot predict. No comma, nothing required here. But cannot predict when you will fall ill. So absolutely fine. Then a comma is required because now I'm beginning with my main sentence. This was sort of an introduction. Okay. Sort of um, something added to make a comparison. That's it. The main thing that I want to convey to you is this, right? And this part is absolutely fine. The part B, okay, the fragment B. All right. So now coming to this one. our question where A, B, C, D, I've got everything. Now, at the height of the euro crisis, makes sense. We're talking about the height of something, so the is required. The euro crisis because it was one specific crisis. Now, there's a comma. So, at the height of the euro crisis, with government bond yields soaring in several southern European countries and defaults looming. So, this phrase has been added in between this sentence. This phrase has been added. So, at the height of the euro crisis, with this happening, that's what I want to say. At the height of the disaster, with a lot happening. So, this form is correct with dash soaring and dash looming, right? Some of you must be thinking that this is wrong, but this is fine. Okay, it's a phrase that has been added in between the sentence. So, at the height of the euro crisis, with a lot happening, a European Central Bank. European Central Bank is like the reserve bank for the entire Europe. Basically, all those that are a part of it, all those that are a part of the Eurozone. So, the European Central Bank, okay, either I should say the European Central Bank. I can't say a European Central Bank. Okay, the European Central Bank, or in case I think you should put the here because before RBI also we do put the Reserve Bank of India. So just to accord it the same uniqueness, you should say the European Central Bank. Okay, the European Central Bank and the healthier members of the currency club The currency club's name is Eurozone. Right. Now fended off. Now, this is actually a phrasal verb concept. This is a vocabulary concept that has been stuffed into a grammar question. Okay. Fend off, this is how we write it. OFF off is required. To fend off a disaster, okay. In fact, fended off disaster by offering bailouts. Okay, fended off. Okay, chalo, that is still fine. Sorry for thinking out loud. So, fend off, OFF, this is the phrasal verb and it means when you ward off, when you just defend yourself against something by casting it away in a sense. Okay, so fended off disaster. Okay, protected themselves from disaster. Right? I hope this makes sense. Right? The European Central Bank fended OFF off disaster. Okay. But they cannot. Okay. The government bond yields. Yes, what is wrong with that, Chaya? Acha, you were saying the government bond. With the government bond yields. No, that the is not a mandatory the there. Right? So here, in a way, I am saying with yields soaring, with returns. Yields are what returns? With returns soaring. And you are saying with the returns soaring. You are saying with the returns soaring. Actually, both work here. When I say returns, that means I'm talking about returns in a general sense. Okay. When I say the returns, that means I'm talking about, let's say, with the returns soaring and with the returns soaring. So, probably let's say I mentioned some instrument earlier. Okay, I mentioned some instrument earlier and now I'm saying with the return soaring. Then this the works. Okay, but if you're talking about government bond yields in a general sense, for instance, when I say returns, FD returns, right? So I don't need to say the FD returns, right? Similarly, here also with returns is also fine, with yields is also fine. Okay. All right. Section A again. Okay, okay. All right. This is part A, right? So what is not clear to you here? At the height of the euro crisis, right? So the fits here, right? With government bond yields soaring. Here I am talking about government bond returns in general, right? So for instance, there are multiple, as Oniromancy has mentioned, there are multiple government bonds out there. So I am talking about the various returns out there, right? So I need not put a the mandatorily here. Okay, that's something that you need to understand. With government bond yields soaring, I'm talking about them as a product in a generic sense. okay, as a class of products. This is called the generic use of, as a class of products. So here this yields is a generic noun, okay, referring to the entire class. Okay, so for instance, when I say tigers, tigers can be dangerous, I don't need to say the tigers can be dangerous. Tigers refer to the class of the species. Same thing here. So I hope this is clear. Fended off. Okay, yes. So I also thought about this, Kunal Coffee, that there needs to be a the here, but it's not essential. Okay, now, why is it not essential? It is fine if you put it here because, yes, we are talking about, let's say, a specific disaster here, right? Probably we are soaring in several and defaults looming, fended off the disaster. In fact, the would work if there is familiarity with which particular default, let's say, uh, I am talking about, familiar with that. So the European Central Bank fended off the disaster. Which disaster? Any particular default that was about to happen, any particular bank that was about to collapse, then I should add the. However, here I am talking about disaster again in a general sense. कि उन्होंने disaster से बचा लिया, right? You get this? उन्होंने problem से बचा लिया हमें. So that means a disaster, any disaster could have happened in case the European Central Bank hadn't intervened. So here again, I'm talking about disaster in a generic sense. To grasp what is generic, what is not in articles, that's the entire complicated thing about articles. Okay, because a lot of times this will happen that you might feel that a the is required, but actually it may not be necessary. Even without it, you can actually make sense of the sentence. So they fended off disaster works. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, all right, all right. Then in which case the becomes mandatory. Okay, so Bhushan, there are certain cases. So Bhushan is asking when is the mandatory? So there are certain situations when we need the, for instance, before the superlative degree of adjectives, before talking about the names of epics. Okay, so the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, then before the names of certain rivers, seas, oceans. So there are a number of such cases, and all of these cases are mentioned in standard grammar books. So I advise you to go through this chapter of articles from Ren and Martin once, okay, and it's a very short chapter, not a long chapter at all. Just go through it once, and you'll get basically you will get familiarity with these basic cases that you should know about. That okay, यहाँ तो use होगा ही. For instance, you know before superlative degrees of adjectives, it is the fastest, the biggest. Similarly, there are some other such cases, right? Okay, all right. So Indian blogger, do you ask this question from every teacher that you study from, male, female, irrespective of the gender, or anywhere else on the gender spectrum? Okay. I talk like a robot. Okay, then you don't need to listen to me. These are not mandatory sessions, right? Uh, all right. Please take a long breath after every sentence. Okay. If I had to follow your advice, I would have followed it back when I started teaching. All right. So, coming to these, I hope the previous question was clear to you. Acha, so now this query came up, I saw it later on. As doctors understand a variety of diseases, but so this was asked, but they cannot predict. This they is not mandatory here again. See, it depends on my intention. If I want to keep them as two separate sentences, so basically, before joining before joining these two sentences using but, they were two separate sentences. Doctors understand a variety of diseases. Doctors understand a variety of diseases. Okay, they cannot predict. They cannot predict when you will fall ill. They cannot predict when you will fall ill. Right. Now, so when you join these, there are two ways. One is that you want to keep them as two independent clauses. Independent clauses mean two complete whole sentences, right? So if you want to do that, then what you have to do? You have to put a comma here and then add a but. Then add a but, right? So now this thing becomes one sentence. Now this thing becomes one whole thing. Okay. So as doctors understand a variety of diseases, but they cannot predict when you will fall ill, comma, and then we continue with our story as it is. However, it's quite possible that I don't want to keep them as independent clauses. Okay. So what do I do then? I just delete this they, remove this comma. Now this comma is not required. The comma but structure was required when they were two independent clauses, when they were two separate sentences. Now it's not required. Now the but will suffice. Okay. But cannot. So even this is correct. I have just deleted this they. Sorry. I have just deleted this they because doctors clarifies that who cannot. Doctors is a subject that works for this verb as well. Cannot predict as well. Okay. All right. All right. Now coming to okay. So coming to this error spotting question again. I hope this is clear why it was not the disaster. Fended off disaster. Now here, we are saying at the height of the euro crisis. The euro crisis has already been going on. We have reached the height of the crisis now. तो अब यहाँ पे disastrous situation हो सकती थी. So that disaster, okay, they basically fended off कोई problem बड़ी होने से. That's what I'm trying to say here. The actually is not needed here at all. Just reflect on this, okay? Withdraw from the question for a while and then reflect on this. You'll probably get what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right. Now coming to finding the incorrect sentence. So these question types have appeared in your exam where three separate sentences are given to you and you have to find out which one is incorrect. So such combinations are presented. Make use of options and tell me what the answer should be. Yes. So we make good use of fended off. I'm glad we are using the vocabulary that we are learning. Vivek, I try to use Hindi in between, but we also need to realize that everyone's mother tongue could be different, right? So somebody might tomorrow ask me to speak in some other mother tongue, which might not be possible for me in their mother tongue, right? So I try to interpret Hindi in between as much as I can. Okay, all right. It's so easy. Okay, let's see how easy or difficult it is. Okay, so basically I've got B also, a lot of B's. Okay, I've got A, C, D, other options as well, right? So let's have a look. Now, though the TV show was first telecast during the 9 to 9:30 p.m. slot, it moved to the 8 to 8:30 p.m. slot after 2 months. What is the error in this? I find this sentence to be okay. So why are you saying only 1 and 3? Because you felt that 2 is correct. Is this correct structure? He set out to conquer the mountain and he did. He did what? He set out, not set off. He set out. You set out on a journey. You set off your losses. Right? Set off means to adjust against something else. Okay. Set out is when you begin a journey. Telecasted. So is there a word called telecasted? Are there words like telecasted, broadcasted? Yes, telecasted, or in fact casted for that matter, if you just reduce it. Tell me, what is the past tense of telecast? Is telecasted a correct word? Okay, just a second. See, was first telecasted. Telecast, forecast. Yes, telecast, forecast, both are correct. However, I will check it, because sometimes what happens is that two past tenses are acceptable for a word. Okay, I'm just checking it again for you, whether telecasted is acceptable or not. See, from what I know, cast, the past tense is cast, right? Then telecast, telecast, broadcast, broadcast. Okay, forecast, forecast, right? So, though the TV show was first telecast, I am sure of this, that this is absolutely correct. I will just check whether this is also correct. That is something that I can check for you. Okay. So, though the TV show was first telecast during the 9 to 9:30 p.m. slot, the problem in this sentence is here. It moved. Can a TV show move itself? It moved means the TV show moved. When I'm saying it was a telecast, when I'm saying it was telecast, I should say it was moved. Passive voice consistency. Okay, so though the TV show was first telecast during the 9 to 9:30 p.m. slot, it was moved to the 8 to 8:30 p.m. slot. Okay, passive voice. So I know that 3 is definitely erroneous. All right. Now let's look at 1. The profits increased by 5% more this year than last year. More is not really required when I have said increased. Redundancy. So 1 is also erroneous. So yes, you are right. The answer is B. The answer is B. Okay. And only 1 and 3, they are the correct ones. But a lot of students get this wrong, that why 3 is wrong. I know that in the exam this is not going to matter much in case the question is asked in this format only. But in case you are asked to correct the sentence, then what I'm telling you is going to matter. Right? So only 1 and 3 is the answer here. All right. Now, find the correct sentence here. Find the correct sentence. Let's see. It's telecast only as per Oxford. Dictionary.com differs, but we will follow Oxford. Okay. So the past tense, the past participle, everything is telecast. Okay. So we will follow that because we follow British English. Okay. Let's see what you say for this one. Language is a little complicated because it's so diverse. We currently follow British English, right? In American English, there are some differences. So that's why I tend to check from multiple sources. All right. Coming to, what about 2? 2 was correct. I was just trying to confuse you there, Bhushan. 2 was correct. He set out to conquer the mountain, right? And he did. Did here means he conquered it. So this is a common construction. Instead of repeating and he conquered it, we say and he did. Okay. All right. It's generally called broadcasted. Sonali, again, again, see, what I have heard is telecast, broadcast, cast, right? But because there are so many types of, let's say, English, right? Again, I'll give you a very definite answer based on the Oxford Dictionary. Okay. So 2, 5, 4, 3. All right. 2, 5, 4, 3. That's what I've got. And again, very varied responses here. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. The previous one was clear to everybody, I hope. The previous one was clear. Just the except the past tense part that I'm clarifying. Let's attempt this one. So lifestyle disorders are not caused by bacteria or viruses, but by. So here comes parallelism in play. Not but. Okay. So not but, they are correlative conjunctions. They are called correlative conjunctions. And the rule of parallelism says that whatever part of speech comes after not, let's say X, then Y that comes after Y, that comes after but, X and Y basically should be parallel. So not caused by, then why am I not saying but caused by? Either I add a caused here as well, then the structure is parallel, not caused by X but caused by Y. Okay, or I should say caused not by, lifestyle disorders are caused not by bacteria or viruses, but by lack of activity and poor dietary choices. So lifestyle disorders are caused not by bacteria or viruses. Just shift this here and then the sentence becomes correct. It becomes parallel in structure. Right? So parallelism is an important concept. A lot of your sentence correction errors, error spotting, sentence correction questions, error spotting questions are based on it. Okay? Okay. Buying a car is still a dream of many youngsters as it was of their parents. Even this is fine. So A had a problem, but B is fine. Buying a car is still a dream of many youngsters. Okay, so what is a dream? Buying a car. As it was, it here refers to buying a car. As buying a car was of their parents. So B is fine. It is parallel also in structure. That means these options are eliminated. I know one is wrong. Okay. So only one is my answer. Let's look at 3. 3 is fine. Named lethal. Named lethal. This is just my shortening the fact that, okay, there is a particular liquid available in the market that is named lethal. So I am shortening it to say named lethal and then I explain it. So named lethal, this termite killing liquid made from a variety of chemical compounds is in fact lethal. It is in fact lethal, right? It is in fact fatal. So this is again fine. No error here. Now, let's look at your queries. And said what regarding it? Yes, 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 Bhushan, correct. I was trying to confuse you. Okay. Second is implied. Yes, Sanil. Second is implied. That's why we added a did there. Okay. Not only but also, Harry, they are also correlative conjunctions. Just like not but, we have not only but also. Okay. Find the correct sentence. Oh, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. We had to find the correct sentence. So, I just attempted it like the previous one. We have to read the instructions very carefully. This is a lesson for all of us. So I said that 1 is correct. So 2 and no wait. What did I say? 1 में problem था, 2 was fine and even 3 was fine. So 2 and 3. 5 is our answer here. My bad, my bad. We had to find the correct sentence or sentences. So 2 and 3, which is B and C, both are fine. Okay? Sorry. Off is also fine there. For is also fine there, Mamta. Okay. Off is also fine and for is also fine. Dream of many youngsters, dream for many youngsters. Okay. If I, let's say, crudely translate it to Hindi, it would mean off would mean youngsters का dream है and for would mean youngsters के लिए वो एक dream है. Right? So both are fine. A, okay. So let's take a simpler sentence. She wait. Play in the garden but in the ground. but in the ground. Looks like a perfectly fine sentence. Yes, she did not play in the garden but in the ground. But again here, if you see, there is a not but, the correlative conjunctions, and if you look from the angle of parallelism, after not we have a play, after but on the other hand we have no verb. Where is the verb here? No verb. We straight away have this structure, in the garden, in the ground. So these are not parallel to each other. To make them parallel, I should say she played not in the garden but in the ground. She played not in the garden but in the ground. So same thing. Lifestyle disorders are caused not by bacteria, but by lack of activity. Right? So Yukta, both are correct. Both are correct. Third is a little confusing. Yes, because it has a number of parts, it has a number of commas. That is why it can be confusing. But if you look at it, the structure of each phrase, each clause is completely correct. Okay. So this phrase named lethal, it modifies this entire sentence. Then this in fact, because it has been inserted in between a sentence, whenever you do that, whenever you insert something in between a sentence, you put parenthetical commas there. Right? Okay. ऑल राइट ओके ठीक है चलो सबको क्लियर है अब हम आगे बढ़ सकते हैं अब है इजी दो इजी क्वेश्चंस ओके फिल इन द ब्लैंक क्वेश्चंस now I want everyone to get these correct. Think about them and then answer. Okay, think about these two blanks and then tell me the answer. The answer is 5. 2 and 3 are correct. Yes, the answer is 5. 2 and 3 are correct. Okay, fill in the blanks. Come on. Let's see what you say. Okay, for broadcast, both the past tenses are acceptable. Broadcast also and broadcasted also. For broadcast, both are acceptable by the Oxford Dictionary. So we will also take both to be acceptable. But for telecast, it is just telecast. For telecast, it is just telecast. Okay. For broadcast, both are fine as past tense. Right. So language, as I said, can be pretty diverse, complicated. A, B, all right. So easy. Okay. Let's see what the answer is. Now, I have got some A's here. Okay. Mostly, I've got a lot of B's actually. Okay. But let me burst the bubble. B is not the answer. Okay. The answer is A. Now, except is a preposition which fits here. Absolutely fine. Similarly, but apart from being a conjunction is also a preposition. That means except. So here, but also fits. No one but you. Now, why not no? Why knows? Because this is not the subject here. The subject is this, and no one is always singular. No one is always singular. So it should be knows. No one but you knows the truth. Right? I hope this makes sense. Yes. To everyone, no one except कैसे आएगा किसको I didn't get you. ये तो बहुत लंबा सेंटेंस हो गया. Right. No one but you knows the truth. ठीक है. So A is the answer here, not B, and I'm sure you could eliminate the others. Did knew does not mean anything. Are knowing, you can't use know in the progressive tense, in the continuous tense. Have known, why? Why am I using the perfect tense here? Okay. Moreover, it should be besides. The preposition should be besides no one, even if I want to say apart from or except, then the preposition for that is besides, not beside. Beside means next to, by the side of. Okay. Last question for the day. Let me see what you say. Okay. A was your answer. Good, Vicky. Good. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Which topic for error identification? Anamika, unfortunately, it can come from any area of grammar, any part of speech. It can come from subject verb agreement also. Okay, it can come from parallelism modifiers also. So you need to know all the areas of grammar. Okay. When I say no one except you, when I say no one except you, that means सिर्फ तुम्हें पता है, बाकी किसी को नहीं पता. No one except exception भी तो दिया ना मैंने. Okay. So no one except you makes sense. B, all right. D, very easy question. Now this was a very easy question. He was killed by the robber with a hatchet. What is a hatchet? What is a hatchet? This axe. Okay, this is called a hatchet. So with, because it was the instrument that he used. By, because this is the person who killed. So the answer is B, Bangalore. Okay, B, Bangalore. Right? Good. I think almost everybody said B here. No, not with the robber. By the hatchet. No. For instrument we use with. Okay, I cut the vegetables with a knife, not by a knife. Okay, and these don't make sense at all. These I added just for fun. Okay. All right. Hatchet is, yes, it's an axe-like weapon. Yes, definitely we'll have more such sessions. I just hope that everything that we did today is clear to you. This sentence is clear to you. All those things that are posing some problem for you. Telecast, I hope you've understood that it is telecast only. Broadcast, broadcasted is also acceptable. Okay. Now, no, Shailesh, I'm not taking any physical classes. I take classes only for BYJU'S. Okay. So don't forget to like the session. All right. And we will meet on Tuesday with 50 important vocabulary words. So some of you were telling me that how to improve our vocabulary by learning more words. And that session will be a good chance for you. So see you on Tuesday now for VRC on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Okay. All right. Bye. Welcome, welcome all of you. Okay, and this is our program. I hope you're aware of it. For more details, call our counselors, right? And yes, we can stay connected using this Telegram channel. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Bye. Adios. See you. Welcome.